Hey guys, welcome to our review for episode 8 of The House of the Dragon, the best TV show on TV right now. I am so happy that we have something consistently good. We have another great, emotionally filled, great acting, great visuals, and interesting story filled episode, The Lord of the Tides. And boy, howdy, does that title do it justice. So, in our story, we have some claims, some succession claims. Turns out off screen, Corals. I would have liked to have seen it on screen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
He gets
So
his
there's
own new series. I'm
So
sure
there's
he will.
only two. Really?
Yeah,
There's not-
there's one called the Sea Snake, I think.
Oh,
New
there's
series.
so many spin-offs. I'm not keeping track of them, but that's still unacceptable. If there's there's only two small things in the episode that bothered me. Otherwise, fantastic. We'll get
I
to
got
those.
3.
You got 3? Okay, so we've got House Valerian. Is this succession comes into question when Lord Corals gets hurt with a grievous wound fighting off in a renewed war. And so the kingdom moves. Alicent basically is kind of taking over for her father her husband, as he is growing so sick and weary. And it's crazy to see Viserys just fall apart. He's got that cool mask shit.
Phantom of the
Opera. Phantom of the Opera, which he rips off and shows. It's gross and some good CGI.
How are you still alive?
How are you still alive? Well, he has
not dead yet.
unfinished business, Joe. And I fucking respect this dude. This performance, this motherfucking
Patty.
thing is
Patty.
this is Emmy worthy because it was fucking great. And he will not die unless he could try to get his house in order and prevent this coming war. So what is it this time? Well, if you will remember, Luke, the son of Ray, is basically potentially going to be the Lord of Driftwood. Or Driftwood, one of them. And the Viserys' brother, Vaemon, says, oh, hell no. I know that kid is a bastard, and you're fucking with my line, my blood. I'm taking over. I have rightful. And to be honest, he does. He's got his own right if that kid is, in fact, a bastard, which it is. So that's what makes it interesting. He's not wrong, but he's always wanted power, and he's always wanted this, And so he is making a claim, and he will essentially ally with Alicent's faction, the Greens, with Otto. They even have a meeting and everything. And so they're kind of pushing this through. And Rhaenyra hears about this through what's her name? She hears about this through one of Daemon's daughters, right? Baela? Yeah, Baela, who sends a message and is like, oh, they're trying to push this through. You better come down here and put in a claim. And so we get that in this episode. Essentially, he makes an impassioned speech on how he has claim to the Driftmark throne, or Driftmark seat, house, and then Rhaenyra makes her own claim, and just shit goes crazy. We'll get to that, but I just wanted to set it up for you guys that it's really awesome. And then afterwards, King Viserys he's like, I want to have a dinner. And I'm like, oh, this is juicy because you have these people that truly do not like each other. They're truly fed up with each other, and they are on the brink of, all-out conflict.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm going to try to get them together, and we're going to be a happy family, and it doesn't go so well. So, what did you guys think of The Lord of the Tides?
This is another good episode. I like the acting. I like the drama.
Yeah.
And it's well shot. Music is there. This is a great episode.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, it was really great. Like, I only have minor issues with. I think there's some directing choices that I haven't liked the entire time for this season. They're minor.
Let's point them out. So we love it. Let's get that out of the way.
But before, you
now
don't like
let's
it.
be critics. Some people don't understand that we're critics.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
The off screen.
Valen.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Valen sitting in there, being treasonous in front of the king. That shot was not very good. Like it's just
Yeah,
it completely violates
Sure.
the rules of Game of Thrones. It violates normal monarchy rules, and it doesn't take fucking anything for a Kingsguard to be grabbing him and going and someone yelling, "Watch your tongue," and like,
Right.
and he can be shouting all these things anyway.
I don't know. I think they're doing it for drama's sake.
But it just
Yeah, they're
detracts from
doing
the
it for
scene because you
drama's sake.
cannot tell the king, "Hey, fuck you! I get to do what I want in my kingdom," and the king just goes, "Your kingdom.
Yeah.
You don't own shit. You're the brother
Yeah.
of a guy who's dying, who has already handles."
I like it though because it's such a shock because people are like, "Wait, did this motherfucker just do that?"
He can.
And so then
Yes.
the whole room is like, "What's gonna happen next?" And it should. You're right. It should probably be some of the Kingsguard and shit that takes command. But I love that it's Daemon, and Daemon just goes.
For sure. Like, I think
He can keep his
That's what
tongue.
makes him way
the fucking
cooler.
one-liners in this episode, like Rings of Power, is nothing like. I hate to keep bringing up Rings of Power, but there's nothing close to these moments in this. And if it was taken by one of the Kingsguard, then you don't
It
get
wouldn't
that.
be
kind
No,
of
you
that's
absolutely
special,
get
though.
literally everything. You just have to film it in a way that pumps up the drama.
Okay.
And like I'm sitting there going, you cannot be a treasonous dickhead in front of all of these people and just like we
Yeah.
said, just whispering that they're bastards. Just whispering that they're bastards, get your head cut off.
or your tongue cut out at the very least.
Yeah, and so it's like everyone's just like casually letting him do this, and they did it for so that Daemon can have his thing. I just think you can film it in a way where the king's guards are trying to arrest him, and Dave cuts his head off anyway.
Yeah. Well, in the after the episode, I think it lends even more context to the scene, which, you know, it's not a good thing. I hope some of the context comes through a little better. But it seemed as if he knew at that moment when he made that proclamation that he, like, I'm going out my way, is basically what he said. So he, to me, that tells me he knows that he might as well be fucking dead. So he's just fucking gonna let everybody know what he knows, which is they're bastards, and he knows he's gonna die, but he just fucking doesn't. So that to me, the Lord of the Tides, perfect title name for that, and was awesome. And Luke is just quiet the whole time. I was like, is the little kid gonna make the speech? And no, he doesn't make the speech. It's his mom. Mommy make the speech for him. But you know, he's not a bad kid. So you know, you're not like, well, I don't want him to get the throne. And then you also are like, well, what's this dude's name? Vaemon does have a claim to it. So I like the fact that it's a little ambiguous. And they do one final ambiguous thing towards the end, which I did not like. I just don't like bringing up the Song of Ice and Fire and bringing up the fucking prince that was promised. And it's reminding me of a trauma, old wound.
Let it die.
And yeah, and then, but they use it this way in a different way. They use it in order to confuse Alicent's character. Viserys is continuing to have a conversation, and it makes total sense within the universe that he's on milk of the poppy. He's confused. He had a conversation with his daughter, and he says, "Hey, you asked me that one question." He has got no idea who's in front of him. He's losing his eyesight, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, yes, I believe in it wholeheartedly. Aegon, prince that was promised." And of course, Alicent is sitting right there, and so this gives her, as she feels, the what would you call the word?
Final push.
The
or
final push
your
to be like,
confirmation to be a bitch.
this is, I am now justified to completely destroy, you know, the kingdom and have a ground to stand on. And it's just a little annoying as a viewer because you know that he was talking to Rhaenyra and Alicent.
But they needed the drama.
It felt like some
They do
Flintstone
need the,
shit.
but no, I think it's what it is in this series. They want to try to paint the greens a little bit better so that you can try to choose a side. So somebody on Twitter or some article is like, I'm on, you know, House Alicent, you know, and here's why. And it's like, yeah, but that's not really the way. They're trying to make that a thing, right? So they're giving some, you know, more softness to that. When in the book it was, no, it's not like that. It's like he supports his daughter, and his daughter is the
Final say so.
fair, and Alicent is like, no, fuck that, and I'm gonna have my son rule, blah 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 blah. So Yeah, really, really awesome.
Yeah, I really didn't like that scene. I thought it was like well beneath everything that happened in the episode, and that's because like the rest of the episode was stellar.
Yeah, talk
Everything.
about
I mean,
some of the other.
I mean, the
parts.
thing is, like, when you finally get Viserys walking into the throne room, and he's walking in, and it's such
Oh
so
my
powerful,
God.
Raj, and then he's like his brother. He realizes it's his
Yeah.
brother helping him. There's some really amazing stuff happening in this episode. We've got a really powerful dinner. There's all sorts
Did
of
you
stuff.
think that was the king? At first, I thought it was like, oh shit, is that Lord Corals coming back? You know, he's showing up, but it's even bigger than that. It's Viserys himself, dude. Is fucked up, and it was such. Guys, I actually got a little emotional because she made a plea to her father. It's like, you know, help me, you know, and make this claim for us for Luke, you know, defend, you know, the claim to the throne. And even, you know, his brother, Damon, is in there and he's asking as well. And he does it. He summons all the rest of his fucking power. And you can tell that the fucking Greens have been keeping him sedated, and he says nope, not today, and he goes up there, makes his fucking speech. But he actually chooses what's her name, Queen, or not a queen, she's not a queen, she's Rhaenys, fuck. Eve Best is the lady that plays. I can remember her name, Eve Best. What a badass name. So he points at Eve Best's character, and she surprisingly supports the original claim. This is what my husband said to me. This is what my husband wanted, even though she personally kind of was disagreeing with it. And then earlier she had told Rhaenyra, hey, you know, I'm going to stand on my own. Don't ask me for anything.
Don't bring me into your shit.
Yeah, don't bring me in your shit. But she gets into the shit, and so we're gonna have to see how that plays. You know, is Ray gonna get her back for helping and everything? Got her back, and so basically restakes the claim. You know, the king has to lay the fucking law down. Luke is the motherfucking heir to Driftmark, and that's when Vaemond just goes crazy. Gets his fucking head cut off. Because I was like, oh shit, he's going to get his tongue cut out right now.
I love
knew
that
it.
scene. That was so good.
So good. And he's like, nope, you can keep your tongue, motherfucker. You went way too far because you just called my fucking wife a whore. So that's why Damon was like this. I was like, yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah.
Which, to be fair,
He's not actually wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair,
That's what makes it cooler, because in good stuff, good writing like this, there's not there's shades of gray. There's, you know, one person's not particularly all bad or not particularly all good. That makes it deep and interesting and relatable. So we get that scene. And then so such a powerful scene is then followed up with the dinner. Joe, you want to tell us about the dinner?
This is where I started hating Allison's kids.
Oh, you did a little bit of a time jump,
What
so
do you
now
mean,
they're
kid?
older.
Aemon is like 45 fucking years old.
Yeah,
like,
what is that? He looks older. I got confused because I thought the younger looking
Yeah.
one was Aemon with the big dragon, but no, because he doesn't have the eye patch. The eye patch is the dead giveaway that it's. But he's so big.
he just doesn't look like
a
he's
growth spurt.
He doesn't look like a child. He looks like he's 40. The other guy looks like he's about to lead,
18 years old.
Well, he looks like the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah.
And all that, and Damien still looks the same.
Yeah, Damon looks the same. Christian Cole hasn't aged a second. Like Otto doesn't age. It's
Christian
just
Cole,
like
yeah.
all right.
It's like it's something off.
I just have to understand that I don't think that they've handled the time jumps perfectly. I think they've done the best that they possibly can, but the source material doesn't allow for, seamless episodes into each other. So I just have to forgive that it's stupid as fuck that Kristen Cole still looks 25.
So, Aemond has become a strong warrior. Just that confidence from having the biggest dragon. He beats up Lord Colton in the courtyard while he's like, come to train nephews. And they're like, oh, shit, not with you. You're going to kick our ass. They build him up. And then we get to the dinner scene. Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, this is where it's pretty powerful. He comes in. He wanted everybody to gather around and fight the tension they had between each other. Mm-hmm. So he makes this amazing speech. He's like, this is what I look like.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, my God.
Gross. We're about to
Fucking
eat, Dad.
gross.
Fuck.
Well, no one ate anything. So
It's like, I'm your father. I am your grandsire.
Mm-hmm.
You got to listen to me. Let's
Put this
squash
away."
all this. All right, put this all to bed.
And for a moment, but a fleeting moment, people are having fun. They're laughing. They're having a good time, and it kind of slows down. And and I'm like, man, this is fucking good TV. And it gives Aemon what he wants, or Aemon gives us Viserys what he wants, and the old man can fucking die knowing that he did everything he could. So, but he's really passing out. The guards take him out of the room, and then what happened?
Allison's kids are being dicks. He's like, well, if you ever want to be with the real man,
Oh, that's right.
Let-
Yeah,
let
one
me know.
guy.
One guy's like, "I'm gonna fuck your wife." You don't know how, and so this is why I don't necessarily agree that they're trying to paint the Greens in a good light because the Greens are
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
No,
dickheads.
I didn't say that. I
Or-
meant Allison. That
Well,
they're
I don't
trying to
think- yeah.
paint Allison in a better light, and they are, because in this show they tried to paint them in the past as almost lovers, almost have a deep relationship, just two girls that are best
yeah,
friends.
because in this, I'm on the fence about Allison. Like, I don't know. It's mainly her kids that are being the fucking
Yeah, her
assholes.
kids are straight up villains.
One's a rapist.
Straight up villains.
and this is
Yeah, so we forgot about that scene. Go ahead.
they call in this poor girl Diana, and she was raped by Aegon, and they're like, "Don't tell anyone. Here's a bunch of money." Drink this."
Aegon, which is the one that actually
My Chemical
already has a
Romance.
wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
His sister.
Yeah.
Right.
and
The seer girl.
And then so they're set him up as like this insane drunk who doesn't want it. And in this episode, they went from like drunk guy who doesn't want it to like insane rapist who's like clearly a villain. I think they kind of overdid it in this episode where they had a bunch of scenes.
Yeah,
where
that was the guy that was jerking it.
Yes.
that was
Man, those two actors are nothing like.
they're nothing. And
Yeah,
so,
so there's a big disconnect there.
yeah, it
Okay.
feels like a big personality change between these
Sure.
characters where he's like, you don't know how to please your wife, and then when he's gone, I'm gonna bang you and slam. And he grabs one of the kids' heads and slams it into the
I
table.
saw that, but it's still okay.
Yeah. So I guess it's a time jump thing where it's just like it's hard to do it. It's like, well, nothing from this last episode leads me to believe that he turns into this guy.
Yeah.
So you're right, Joe, that Aemon is kind of mocking them by saying, "Hey, here are your great traits. You're this, and you're strong." And Allison is like, "Stop
What's wrong?
it."
What's
He's
wrong?
like,
I'm
"What?
saying they're strong."
strongs."
Yeah.
And then that starts a fight. But luckily, old man Viserys is out of the room. He doesn't get to see none of that. He gets to die happy, thinking that he got everything all right. Unfortunately, it's not so. But it's bittersweet for him. So they start fighting, and clearly, this shit ain't that did not a happy family. It is. They are not gonna make up. Period.
Yeah, they tease that they're gonna make up, which is kind of silly. And
I liked
then-
it.
And then they're
They're dysfunctional.
Not
That's what's
silly.
going to happen.
All right. So what kind of egged Aemon on was the pig. They brought in the pig, and he's like, "Motherfucker," and then the little kids are laughing at him. So then that's what eggs him on to make that one final tribute, that insult.
How would
that
Joffrey know about the
turns
pig?
into a fight. Joffrey.
the little kid who was laughing. It was
that
Joffrey.
wasn't Joffrey. That was Luke. Joffrey. Was it?
Yeah, it was Joffrey. The little
I don't
kid
know.
is
I'd have to
Joffrey.
look. I'd have to look back. Joffrey, I don't think is in there. It's Luke
thought it was
and
Jace.
Jace. It's Luke and Jace. There's no Joffrey in there.
I thought the
I
look
don't
because
think so.
you don't. I think
No,
that-
Joffrey's not there yet,
He's-
as far as I know.
He's 6 or 7 at this period of time. He would have been in the room.
Well, that might have been in that future scene. I think it was Jace or Luke. Anyways, so Daemon is actually the one that breaks up the fight. He gets in between Aemon and Luke, and this motherfucker, he looks at he's like, yeah, he just walks away. But you can tell these two, like, it's like, okay, you're gonna put your most aggressive soldier. I got my most aggressive soldier, and he's like, yep, I'm not gonna fight Daemon. But that teases at what's to come between these two for sure, because I've gone ahead and researched some of the lore. But anyway, so they because they soften Allison a little bit, and even though the kids are at each other's throat, kind of continuing the generational hate, but now the women are actually, Allison is feeling a little consolatory and bad, and she says, basically, Rhaenyra's like, "Let me take the kids home. I'll be back. We can talk." So it's like, oh man, small little hope here. She will turn on Dragon back. But I'm sure shit's going down that episode because that was before Allison. And let's not forget the toasts. Allison basically said, "You're queen. You know, you're fine." She kind of gives it up right there. And so that gives more precedent to when she's like, all right, let's talk, let's make up. But then when the king says that fucking thing, and it makes me so angry because it's one of those fucking trope things. I would rather her just be like, nah, okay, he's going to pass away. I was at his bedside for I don't know how many years. We deserve this kind of thing. Rather than, oh, he told a story right at the end, and I'm too much of an idiot to put 2 and 2 together. To be fair, everybody, for some reason, is named Aemon or Aegon.
Aegon.
So her son is named Aegon. The previous King Conqueror is named Aegon. Now Rhaenyra's even saying that her new children are going to be Aegon. And I'm like, oh, God. Somebody help us with this. I know at least Rhaenyra's son is supposed to be called Aegon the Younger, separated from Aegon the Elder, so that we can know what the fuck is going on.
Why would you do that? You're just making confusion.
Yeah. So, like I said, the king mistakenly thinks that it's Rey he's talking to, which gives her the precipice. No, that's the wrong word. But the motivation to kind of take everything, and that stupid fucking blade is shown off again. I hate this thing. They're just like, hey, this ties into Game of Thrones. No, it doesn't. Stop it. It came before Game of Thrones. It is the Targaryen history. That's what you focus on. Stop trying to make the fucking prince that was promised that you fucked up. Well, no, that's not fair. That D.B. Weiss and David Benioff fucked up. And maybe HBO is going to try to fix with that sequel series with Jon Snow. Maybe that's why they're teasing it so much, because they're like, don't worry, audience, we got your back. We're going to try to fix it later on, and he's going to use this blade in the sequel series or something. I don't know. Then the king dies, and it was, God, he was so just well acted. Right at the end, did you see where it seems like he saw his wife, like in the afterlife? And he's like, that's just great, man. What else? Well, let's go ahead with final verdicts, and then we can talk a little bit more about it.
I'm going to go with an 8.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Almost an 8.
You didn't like it quite as much as the last episode, which you gave a 9.
No, this one I liked. There's a very powerful moments, him walking into the courtroom and just making a speech and trying to console everyone in the supper scene. I like the supper scene.
God, Viserys, it's going
He's
to suck
such a
not
good
having
actor.
Viserys.
I
Patty,
know, that's what I'm
gonna
sad
miss
about.
that motherfucker. Yeah.
That's what I'm sad about. It's like, this time jump ain't the same without you, Viserys. My boy's gone.
That's right.
So he's going to look even more like a zombie.
Damn. Just bring him back next season, Joe. It's a literal zombie.
He's a corpse. As long as he's there, man.
Yeah.
We know that zombies exist in the universe, right? We can have a...
He did make me feel emotion, Joe. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very powerful stuff there, emotional. And I liked... the dinner scene makes me like despise Allison's kid, but in a good way. It's like, all right, these are the villains.
Yay, we got some straight up bad guys.
Yeah, assholes.
Okay.
I may have liked it a little better than you. I think we got some stellar moments here. I mean, really, truly amazing cinematography and acting and stuff. And then there were some scenes that I just didn't agree with. I don't like the way they portray certain things. You can't whisper throughout the entire season that if you even fucking mention the word bastard or even think about mentioning bastard, I'm going to cut your fucking head off. And then someone standing in a room with guards, everyone's just thumbing their ass when he's like, fuck you, king. Your nephews are bastards. Your grandsons are bastards.
But his head is cut off, Alex.
His head is cut off 2 minutes later after he calls the guy's wife a whore.
Not 2 minutes. Few seconds later, his head's cut off. And to be fair, guards are waiting for the king's command, and you can see the king is going to command it. But Daemon said, "Nah, man, you fucking."
We got scenes.
Call my wife a whore.
Yeah, but we got scenes previously where the king is just like he's yelling at his fucking grandkids, and he's like or his actually own sons talking about the seriousness. Like it just. I think there are better ways to film it, and I'm so tired of them going, it is a fucking treasonous thing, and I'm going to fucking kill you, and then the guy does it, and it's like, had he not called her a whore, does he just get to walk out? He just
I guarantee you Viserys would be like, that's it, take his tongue. And he just needed some time, Alex. The man's almost a zombie.
An amazing one-liner, though.
Who would have got one
no, you do get the one-liner.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can disagree. It's fine. It's Alex's
I'm just saying
rating.
if someone grabs him and goes, you don't get to tell the king to fuck off.
Not
you can still have his
everything
head cut off.
happens. Okay.
Not everything happens realistically. I
There
agree,
you
and
go.
this was not realistic. And I think that they made.
But even in life, things can happen in such a way where it's like, why did things go down?
You think for a second that Rhaenyra, the person who's about to be queen, the very fucking next day sees someone calling her kids bastards and say, "Take his fucking head off."
that
And
shit
it
was
is
gonna go down? You just didn't. It went. Damon jumped in. It went. Sheesh. That shit was taken care of.
Yeah,
right.
He went on a
We got-
long time, and so it's
It's
like
not a big deal.
Yeah,
So that dinged it for you a
that
little
dinged it.
bit.
And then I think the Flintstones ending is so beneath this show's writing, like so fucking beneath the thing at the end where she goes, "Oh, so glad you're here, daughter. Let me tell you about my bitch wife and how her kids aren't going to be." And then try the trick.
Did you say Flintstones? I missed
Yeah,
you.
yeah, the Flintstones.
What does that mean?
It's just like the most tropey bullshit where he's like, "Oh, it's my wife and my daughter. I don't know it's the wrong person, so I'm gonna try to drive plot."
Yeah.
I think that they could have set this up in a way better way where he said, he just tells her, it's just like, look, you cannot let Allison take over because she's evil in her bloodline. Like, you need to be the one that does this. And Allison just takes it and says, you know what, fuck you. Your last dying thing was to fuck me over. Well, I'm going to take over the fucking
I
kingdom.
would have loved that.
That
much
was
better.
That's much more powerful
Yeah.
than it's like she gets to.
Me too. I agree.
Yeah, so it's I think those are the only two minor things that take it away from being a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I really like this
wanted
episode.
to. That's why
but-
you're so fired up, because you're like, it's a 10, but
it's not, because like honestly, some of these scenes are just like,
Sure.
this does not live up to Game of Thrones in general. It doesn't live up to the writing you had in this own episode, and it's just like, what are you fucking doing, man? You didn't have someone saying like, no, you don't get to fucking do that. But
So-
it's a 9 for me. It's a 9.
9.
I think it falls short of the 10.
See, well, then that's good, man. Then I love your passionate arguing, because it's still fucking 9, and I'm exactly the same thing. I was gonna give it a 10, but I have some issues with it, and it goes to a 9. And it's there. It's there. We're almost there. We got 2 episodes left. Those could be the 10s. They take the feedback. They go into second season, and you're gonna have this. This is amazing. This is at the level of Game of Thrones. So I will say it's at the level of Game of Thrones for me. Maybe not for you yet, but for me, because of all those amazing scenes Joe pointed out. You get the fucking dinner, you got the fucking petitioning, you got the fucking even the back house dealings, that we didn't get to cover, and all the stuff that's happening is really, really good. And whereas we don't like the ending because it's like, shut up with the fucking prince that was promised, and the misinterpreted thing that is a little weaker. That's one of the weaker parts. And then also Lord Coral's kind of giving that off screen. Give me a little more of that. Yes, we as the audience would be the only one to know that he may not actually be dead. Maybe that's why they're hiding it, because they don't want the audience to know. And then another little weaker part, and I don't know if it's House of the Dragon doesn't want to piss off any religious people or something, because one of the missing elements that they tried to address here is that Alicent's faction is supposed to be highly religious. She's supposed to basically start following this religion of the Seven, and you see a little bit of that. Remember when she walks in, so basically all the they got stars, and yeah, they get rid of some of the statue and the pornography and stuff from the Targaryens and kind of replace it with this religious stuff. And they just kind of combed on it just a little bit, because the Targaryens have a kind of a rocky relationship with that particular religion, and so one side goes full on into the religion, and the other side is like, we're kind of gonna do our own thing, marry our sisters and our brothers and our cousins, and we're gonna maintain a pure bloodline and all this kind of shit. It would be a little bit cooler to get that ramped up, but maybe that they do plan that in the future as the wars go on.
I hope so. I mean, again, this is such a great episode. There's not a single dragon in this whole episode. It's doing really, really well.
9 out of 10. Let me just finish right there. 9 out of 10. Yeah. What'd you say?
So I'm worried that as we go on to further things, it's just going to be like, well, we've kind of set everything up, and now it's just fucking dragon time all the time, and I don't know.
So I'm wondering, it's going to be battles all the time? I'm fucking in. But I think they can make battles compelling. If they can make the lead up to battles compelling, and I think that they can have battles plus the in between the battles compelling. Like, okay, which of our forces do we want to sacrifice? And it's like, okay, this is the dance of the dragons. It's time we have to put our dragons into battle. And guess what, guys? These are all main characters that have dragons. And so it's like, do I want to risk my bishop against your queen, king? You know, so this stuff is going to get really, really compelling if they do what's in the books. And I'm very excited for additional seasons. So things are running really fucking well with the House of the Dragon. And this is by far and away one of the better television things going on right now. A little surprise. Started off slow. Started off a little, a little wary of it. But it is really come into its own. And it's a damn shame that the same isn't happening for Lord of the Rings.
Sticks the landing.
Yeah, so we got 2 episodes left, which is literally the 2 factions doing their shit, because it's called the Green Council. That's going to be Alicent doing all her shit, and the Black Queen. That's going to be Rhaenyra doing all of her shit. Get those 2 things set up, and then I assume all of the major battles will be in Season 2. But we'll see. Maybe there's a major battle in one of these upcoming ones. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you like to see these videos, why not contribute to us on Patreon or join here on YouTube? Thank you, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.